Hello everyone, very excited to be here today for this video because it's all about recovery success and inspiration from any aspect of anxiety, whether it be obsessive thinking, panic, difficult physical symptoms, rumination, obsessive thinking, compulsions, phobias of any kind, debilitating tension, headaches, muscle tension, derealization, whatever it is. So, because we want to have hope, right? We do this work because we want to ultimately recover or get happy. I've started to talk less about recovery now, more about getting happy, because the more moments of peace and happiness we piece together, recovery becomes less relevant. It's important to think about it at the start of our journey so we know that it's possible. But the more we practice, the more we learn, the less bewildered we are, the more excited we get about life. And then this mystical moment of recovery, whenever that is, matters less and less. And often we've recovered when we no longer care if we recover or not, because we are happy. So this video is all about inspiration for all the success that I've had, but more importantly, all the success and inspiration that you have had. So I want you to share in the comments all the successes, moments of peace, times where you practiced and it worked, times that you practiced and it was hard, but you did it anyway, and eventually you got relief. All the things that you've done that have really put the method into practice, that's helped you move forward on your recovery journey. So any comment that is not related to success or inspiration, I'm going to delete. I don't delete many comments from videos because I like just to keep it open and transparent. But this one, be warned, is only for success and inspiration. So you can come back and watch this video over and over, time and time again, knowing that any comment will be a positive, helpful source of inspiration, so that in your difficult moments, you can come back and get the inspiration you need, because we know setbacks happen. We know it's hard at times. It's hard to put what we know intellectually into practice. So I want this to be an inspiration only zone. So any questions you might have, I'll delete. So ask them on other videos, message me directly, or book in a coaching session. If you put a comment with questions or shows anything that's not working, or that you've been struggling for a while I get and understand all that, I'll delete them from this video, because we want to keep it a positive zone. Because what we tend to do when the voice of doubt is strong is only focus on the negative, and we don't do enough of focusing on all the success we have. We know that cycles of tension will always come to an end, or they'll ease off. We'll get peace, we'll get a little bit of relief, whether it be 30 seconds, a minute, an hour, a day, a week, a month, a year, whatever it might be. So that's what we're going to focus on. So when you're sharing your stories, a couple of examples. So when you applied the practice, even when it was hard, for example, I hopped in the car, my heart was racing, adrenaline, intrusive thoughts, but I went for a drive anyway. I loud, I sagged, I went loose. It lasted for a few hours. I forgot about it. And then I felt this peace and relief. I had a glimpse. I'm just starting out on my journey, but I had a glimpse. I did the floating practice for the first time, and I just felt these waves of peace. I was practicing for a week. It was really hard. I had really difficult palpitations. I had this derealization, dizziness, but I did it anyway. I kept practicing. I tried not to take it seriously. I floated, I sagged. I reminded myself what was happening. It was just adrenaline. I reminded myself it wasn't serious. And it suddenly fell away. Or I got a bit of peace. It didn't happen straight away. I got little bits of peace every day, every afternoon. The peace comes, and I build from that. And it's had more and more each day. I couldn't leave the house at one point, and now I'm living my life. I'm back at work. I take the whole thing far less seriously. I'm back playing tennis. Whatever it might be for you. Maybe you floated doing a resting practice in your chair, in the bed, and suddenly this peace came over. Maybe you'd been struggling with the floating practice. It hadn't worked. You were struggling, but you've realized you've been resisting for a number of weeks, and finally it all clicked into place. All that practice suddenly started to pay off, and you started to see through it. You entered the storm willingly over and over again, and those symptoms that you've been so afraid of, you no longer feared. Maybe you're watching some videos and it all clicked into place. You're less bewildered because you understand this all makes sense now. It's not a mystery anymore. There's nothing wrong with my brain. You had that realization, and that enough allowed you to desensitize. Maybe you were obsessively ruminating and it was hard, and you thought, how can I ever get out of this cycle? And now when the obsessive thoughts come up, or the rumination, you don't take it nearly as seriously as you did, and it really bothers you anymore. I talk about the first time I accepted was on a bike. I allowed intrusive thoughts in for the first time without focusing on them. I let it all happen while I was on the exercise bike. The more they came, the more I allowed them without getting involved in them. Just kept riding and sagging the shoulders through the tension. And the confidence I got from being able to do that, allow these fearful thoughts in, and still be okay, was huge. I used to get flashes of panic while I was at work on the way to a meeting. Drop the shoulders, sag, and all the work I'd done in those difficult days where I didn't get much relief paid off, because instantly the panic would fade and I could go into a meeting and talk normally. There was a time where I was worried about, obsessing about the bike, my lock. Should I take my bike with me? Should I not? I was anxious about it. There was adrenaline tension. And I realized how seriously I was taking the whole thing. Dropped the shoulders, sagged, and all the practice I'd done before came together in that moment, and I just felt it evaporate. I remember I was in a setback. I'd been doing really well, lots of relief, and I was in the theatre and I started to get these waves of panic. And it took me about 5 minutes to figure out what was happening. I got shocked initially. I thought, oh no, it's back again. And I remembered what it was. It's just adrenaline. I allowed it. Stayed for a couple of hours. I kept allowing, and it all dissipated. And that was because of all the work I'd done. Life had got busy. I'd been back to being busy, so tension had built a little bit, but all the work I had done previously was still there. Those neural pathways were still there. And I was able just to let it all happen. So what is your success? What have you done when it's been really hard? What about those moments that you thought, is this going to work? Is it really sensitization? Is it really me? Is it something else? And you persisted and you entered the storm willingly, and at some point you built your confidence up and you started to get more and more success, or more and more rewards for the hard work. So I know there's a lot of it out there. I get messages all the time. I see it in the comments. So please share yours. If you would like to talk about it on YouTube with me in an interview as a testimonial, please email me through my website. There's a link on most of the videos to my website, so it's just to send a contact form through, and let me know if you'd like to do a video as well. But please, keen for you to support the community to see as much success as possible in the comments, even when it's hard. So that's what this video is about, all the inspiration that you've had in those difficult moments, that you've entered the storm willingly. You had a 5% doubt if it would work, and you did it anyway, and you started to get the results for the persistence. What success have you had when learning about this? The relief you got when you realized that this is not random, there's nothing wrong with your brain. Those are successes as well. All the times that maybe others around doubted you, and you're like, no, I know what this is. I'm just got to let the waves come. I've got to allow it as best I can. I was fighting it for a while, and suddenly it all clicked into place, and I started to allow the panic for the first time. It came up. It was really difficult. So this video is all about the comments, all the inspiration, because I know there's lots of success happening, but it's important you don't just hear my voice, that you hear others talking about it. I've had lots and lots of success. I recovered, over 10 years ago now. And I know so many of you have too. So if you have recovered, please share that as well. But you don't have to have recovered to share your successes and inspiration. Maybe you don't care about recovery anymore. Maybe you're just happy. So again, keep it as positive as possible. There's plenty of time to ask questions, talk about what's not working in other videos, but I want to keep this as a source of inspiration so that you know whenever you come to this video, you want a bit of a boost, you want a reminder that it does work, that you can freely read the comments knowing that there'll be more and more inspiration the longer the video is up. I hope that makes sense. If you've got any questions, ask on another video or message me direct if you do want to book in for a coaching session. You've got the links for that too. There's other resources and tools on the Anxiety Tool Shop. Also a link there if you are struggling. But I look forward to reading the posts, your comments, and please do reach out if you do want to jump on the camera and share the success that you've had. Okay, I'll see you again very soon. Take care.